Charles Barkley just threatened to physically assault anyone who claims LeBron James is as good as Michael Jordan.
Any media person that I see in person for the rest of my life who try to tell me LeBron James is good as Michael Jordan, I'm just going to slap the hell out of him right on the spot. Right on the damn spot. No question asked.
I really want to slap him, okay?
Any media person that I see in person for the rest of my life who tries to tell me LeBron James is as good as Michael Jordan, I'm just going to slap the hell out of him right on the spot. But that explosive threat wasn't even the most damaging thing Chuck revealed. The NBA legend dropped a bombshell that should have LeBron losing sleep. ESPN has been secretly destroying his legacy for 20 years while pretending to build it up. And the worst part? According to Barkley, LeBron knows it and has been furious about ESPN's coverage the entire time, but he's too scared to speak out. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, because what Charles exposed about ESPN's $2.6 billion strategy is about to change everything you thought you knew about sports media. Trust me, this rabbit hole goes way deeper than just debate shows. The knockoff handbag insult. Charles Barkley didn't just criticize ESPN, he went for the jugular. He accused them of buying a knockoff handbag called Kendrick Perkins to pretend to be me on these NBA studio shows.
People are starting to ask. People are starting to ask what their ceiling is in the Western Conference, and I'm having a hard time not saying it's pretty dang high.
Oh, it's super high, and guess what? I'm going to take it a step further.
Oh, goodness.
Right now, the Los Angeles Lakers are saving the NBA. A month ago, let me ask you a question.
We're all dressed like we're going to church.
I saw a fool idiot on TV talking about the Lakers save the NBA.
Save the NBA?
Yeah. He's an idiot and a fool, but he know who he is. What's his name, Shaq?
Which one you talking about?
Kendrick Perkins.
Oh.
He said the Lakers, first of all, the Lakers have had a great 2 weeks.
Get me Perkins.
You know where to find me.
Think about how brutal that comparison is. You've got Charles Barkley, Hall of Famer, former MVP, one of the 25 greatest players in NBA history. And then you've got Kendrick Perkins, a career role player who averaged 5.4 points per game. Barkley was genuinely offended, asking, "Why do y'all got this bad knockoff version of me?" But here's what made the insult even more devastating. Chuck wasn't just attacking Perkins' basketball credentials. He exposed that Perkins is essentially a paid LeBron cheerleader, constantly pushing narratives like the Lakers saved the NBA while ignoring actually successful teams. He's a groupie for LeBron, Barkley declared, and suddenly ESPN's entire coverage strategy made sense. They didn't hire Perkins for his basketball insight. They hired him to be a LeBron propaganda machine with a national platform. But this personal attack was just Chuck warming up. What he revealed next about ESPN's systematic approach to destroying basketball discourse was about to get way more damaging. The Skip Bayless origin story.
See if Skip's up for that challenge.
That'll be a good challenge.
No doubt.
Oh.
Way to take everything to the next level.
No, I ain't never gonna like Skip
You
Bayless.
began the show taking
That wasn't that hot.
the
Shannon,
next step.
we challenge you, Shannon. Skip, we just...
Oh, stop. You've already said.
LeBron's the only one got a legacy ride. He gonna get all the blame, unfortunately. He's the one. He's on that Mount Rushmore. And, Skip Bayless, the idiot, he's gonna find a way to blame LeBron, even though those guys have played 6 bad games. I'm not waiting on those guys. They've had 6 bad games in a row. If I'm LeBron, I'm saying, hey, I'm going.
Here's where Barkley connected dots that nobody else had the courage to connect. He revealed that Skip Bayless' entire controversial career started when LeBron James was just 21 years old, and it all began on ESPN. This wasn't random hot takes. This was a calculated strategy to turn LeBron into manufactured content. Skip Bayless' stick started when LeBron James was 21, and that started on ESPN. That damaged LeBron James, and it damaged the NBA, Barkley declared. For 2 decades, ESPN has been what Chuck called milking the LeBron James cow, turning every decision, every game, every breath into artificial controversy. The strategy was brilliantly toxic. ESPN realized they could generate massive ratings and revenue by creating an artificial war between LeBron fans and Michael Jordan fans. Week after week, they'd invite what Barkley called idiots onto their shows. Social media personalities, TikTokers, anyone who could fuel the fire of this manufactured debate. But here's what's really insidious. Barkley exposed that this approach didn't just make Skip famous. It systematically damaged both LeBron and the NBA in the process. They turned basketball's greatest debate into tribal warfare, and the sport has never recovered. And if you think that's bad, wait until you hear what ESPN did with their $2.6 billion investment that's about to destroy basketball culture forever. The TikToker expert problem. Charles Barkley's disgust reached new levels when he talked about ESPN bringing social media influencers like Kai Cenat onto serious basketball programming to debate LeBron versus Jordan. You've got social media influencers with zero basketball credentials debating the greatest players of all time on what's supposed to be serious sports programming. This isn't accidental. It's ESPN's deliberate strategy. They figured out that controversy generates more engagement than expertise. Why bring on a former NBA player who actually understands the game when you can bring on someone with millions of TikTok followers who will say outrageous things for clicks? But here's what ESPN doesn't want you to understand. This strategy is systematically killing basketball culture. Barkley pointed out that they've made LeBron fans not like Michael fans when these should be complementary celebrations of greatness, not competing religions. The result is that basketball discourse has been completely poisoned. You can't have a nuanced conversation about different playing styles, eras, or accomplishments because everything gets reduced to tribal warfare. An entire generation of fans has grown up thinking this is normal, that basketball analysis is supposed to be about taking sides rather than appreciating excellence. And the most frustrating part? ESPN is doubling down on this approach even as it destroys what they claim to love. But what Charles revealed about LeBron's secret feelings is about to make this story even more explosive. LeBron's secret fury. Here's the bombshell that should terrify LeBron's camp. According to Charles Barkley, he's never liked the way he's been covered by ESPN. Think about that revelation.
That and this lame-ass LeBron-Michael Jordan debate, which is lame. I've said for years, the only people talk about LeBron and Michael is people on television who got no talent to talk about anything else. I've been saying that for years. I ain't hanging on to the 90s. I've always said LeBron's great, Michael's great. But y'all talk about it all the time and then got LeBron out there posing, talking about he all mad about being the face of the league. But it makes me mad.
For 2 decades, LeBron James has been ESPN's golden goose, their content cash cow, their ratings driver. But behind the scenes, he's been seething about their coverage. The Bronny James situation is apparently the breaking point. LeBron is watching his son get dragged through the same toxic media machine that he's been dealing with since he was 21. But Barkley revealed that LeBron won't say what he's really upset about because it would reveal too much. ESPN, Skip Bayless, and now Stephen A. Smith, they have been milking the LeBron James cow for 20 years straight, Barkley exposed. That's 2 entire decades of turning LeBron's every move, every decision, every breath into manufactured controversy and debate content. Think about the irony here. ESPN has spent 20 years building LeBron into their biggest star, turning him into a content empire worth billions. But the person at the center of it all secretly despises how they've done it. He's trapped in a system where speaking out would only create more content for them to exploit. This explains so much about LeBron's carefully controlled public persona and his increasing frustration with certain media narratives. But what Barkley revealed about ESPN's financial pressure is about to expose why this toxic cycle will never end. The $2.6 billion pressure cooker. ESPN has invested $2.6 billion in NBA broadcasting rights. That's billion with a B. They walked away from Major League Baseball to focus on basketball. And now there's enormous pressure to justify that investment through content that drives engagement at any cost. Charles Barkley exposed the financial reality behind ESPN's toxic coverage strategy. When you've invested that much money, you can't just cover games and celebrate great basketball. You need manufactured drama, artificial controversy, and content that keeps people arguing online 24/7. And how did ESPN respond to criticism that their approach is damaging basketball culture? They rewarded Stephen A. Smith with a massive contract extension worth multiple millions over 5 years. As Barkley put it, they're rewarding more of this stupidity that has the NBA in a bad place. The message is clear. ESPN has turned manufactured controversy into a billion-dollar business model, and they're doubling down even as NBA ratings collapse and fan culture becomes increasingly toxic. They've chosen immediate engagement over the long-term health of basketball culture. But the most damaging revelation was still coming. What Barkley exposed about how this system has fundamentally changed basketball fandom is about to blow your mind. The cultural destruction. Charles Barkley's most devastating accusation cuts to the heart of what's wrong with modern basketball culture. ESPN's debate-driven coverage has dumbed down the conversation about sports and created artificial divisions that are literally tearing apart the fan experience. Basketball used to be this beautiful game where fans celebrated each other and celebrated the legends who came before, Barkley explained. The Michael Jordan versus LeBron James debate should have been a celebration of two incredible careers and different styles of excellence. Instead, ESPN turned it into toxic tribal warfare. They've created an environment where fans can't appreciate both players, where every discussion becomes a battle, where nuance and context are sacrificed for hot takes and viral moments. The financial incentives are driving everything. ESPN's $2.6 billion investment means they need content that generates immediate engagement, so they choose controversy over celebration, division over unity, hot takes over thoughtful analysis. The result? The NBA is in what Barkley calls freefall collapse, with declining ratings, toxic fan culture, and a media landscape dominated by what he calls idiots who know nothing about the game. This isn't just about media coverage, it's about the long-term health of basketball culture. When you poison discourse around the game's greatest players, you damage fans' ability to appreciate excellence. When everything becomes tribal warfare, you lose the shared appreciation that makes sports meaningful. The nightmare realized. Charles Barkley didn't just criticize ESPN, he exposed their entire business model and revealed how it's systematically destroying basketball culture. His accusations paint a picture of a media machine that profits from division while claiming to celebrate the game. The most devastating revelation is that LeBron James himself, the supposed beneficiary of all this coverage, secretly despises how ESPN has turned him into content for 2 decades. He's trapped in a system where every moment of his career gets filtered through manufactured controversy. ESPN invested $2.6 billion in basketball, but according to Barkley, they're actively harming the product they're supposed to be promoting. They've chosen immediate engagement over long-term cultural health, and the results speak for themselves. The real tragedy is what's been lost. Basketball analysis used to be about understanding the game, appreciating different styles, and celebrating excellence across eras. Now, it's about picking sides in artificial wars created by media executives who care more about clicks than culture. Charles Barkley had the courage to call out this toxic system because he's one of the few people with enough credibility and independence to do it. The question now is whether anything will change, or if ESPN will continue rewarding the very approach that's destroying what they claim to love. If this exposé of how financial incentives have corrupted basketball media opened your eyes to what's really happening behind the scenes, make sure to subscribe for more honest breakdowns that prioritize truth over tribal warfare, because sometimes the most important battles are the ones nobody wants to talk about.